Ambassador Velthar clicked his mandibles in amusement as he reviewed the latest intelligence reports from the Terran systems. The humans, those peculiar bipedal mammals from the outer rim, had remained conspicuously silent for the past 3 cycles. No diplomatic protests, no threatening transmissions, no desperate pleas for mercy. Nothing but an eerie quiet that stretched across their colonies like a shroud. Still nothing from the humans? General Krexfor inquired, his scaled hide glistening under the command center's harsh lighting. The Zephyrian Empire's most decorated military commander had conquered 47 species in his career, but the bike humans had proven different. Complete radio silence, Velthar confirmed, his 4 eyes gleaming with satisfaction. Even their merchant vessels have ceased all communications. It appears they've finally accepted their fate. The Empire had been methodical in its approach to humanity. First came the economic blockades choking off vital trade routes. Then the systematic destruction of outlying colonies, Kepler 442b reduced to ash, Proxima Centauri's settlements vaporized, Europa Station obliterated. Each attack had been calculated to break human morale, to force them to their knees in submission. Yet the humans had said nothing. Other species had begged. The crystalline Velnari had offered their entire homeworld's mineral wealth. The gaseous Nethys had promised servitude across 1,000 generations. The proud warrior race of Korath had at least died screaming defiance. But humanity? Humanity had simply watched. Perhaps they're planning something, suggested Intelligence, Officer Nimdal, her tentacles writhing with uncertainty. Krexfor's laughter boomed through the command chamber. With what? Their pathetic fleet of antiquated vessels? Their primitive kinetic weapons? We've seen their entire military catalog. Chemical propulsion, nuclear warheads, crude energy weapons. They're centuries behind our technology. The Empire's superiority was absolute. Their ships moved faster than light through dimensional rifts. Their weapons could shatter moons and their shields could withstand the fury of stars. Humanity's greatest dreadnoughts were museum pieces by comparison. Still, Nimdal pressed, their silence is unusual. Every species communicates something before extinction. Fear, anger, bargaining attempts. The humans haven't even acknowledged our ultimatum. Velthar waved a dismissive appendage. Shock, perhaps. Or maybe they're praying to whatever primitive deities they worship. It matters little. Tomorrow we begin the final phase. Earth itself burns. The next morning, alarms screamed throughout the Zephyrian command vessel Eternal Dominion. Krexfor stumbled from his rest chamber, scales still soft from sleep, to find chaos consuming the bridge. "Report," he roared. "Massive energy signatures, sir." Navigation Officer Thekris's voice cracked with panic. "Approximately 10,000 vessels emerging from hyperspace coordinates 00 Mark 7. 10,000? Impossible. Human fleets. Number in the hundreds at most." The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a sight that defied comprehension. Ships stretched across the void like stars themselves. Not the crude, angular vessels the Empire had catalogued, but sleek predators bristling with unknown weaponry. They moved with precision that spoke of unified command, their formations so tight they seemed choreographed. "Sir," Communications Officer Zilpath whispered, "we're receiving a transmission." "From the humans?" "Yes, sir. Single frequency, broadcasted simultaneously from every vessel." Admiral Sarah Chen's face appeared on screen, her expression carved from granite. Behind her, the bridge of humanity's flagship Vindication hummed with quiet efficiency. "Zephyrian Empire," she began, her voice carrying the weight of sleeping thunder. "You have systematically murdered 12 billion human beings. You have reduced our colonies to radioactive wasteland. You have declared us extinct." She paused, letting the words settle like falling ash. "You were wrong." Krexfor found his voice. "Impossible. Where did these ships come from?" "Our intelligence—" "Your intelligence observed what we wanted you to observe," Chen interrupted. "While you destroyed our outer colonies, while you murdered our civilians, while you mocked our silence, we were building. Deep in the void between stars and hidden shipyards carved from asteroids, we forged our response to your genocide. The human fleet began moving, not toward Earth as expected, but directly toward the Zephyrian Armada. Their weapons powered up with an ominous glow. You misunderstood our silence, Chen continued. It wasn't fear. It wasn't shock. It was focus. Every death you dealt us, every world you burned, every life you snuffed out, we remembered. And while you celebrated what you thought was our weakness, we prepared. Your primitive technology cannot match our shields, Krexvor snarled, desperation creeping into his voice. Chen's smile was sharp as broken glass. You're right. Our old technology couldn't match you. But you gave us 3 years of silence to develop new solutions. Gravitic disruptors to collapse your dimensional drives. Quantum torpedoes to pierce your energy shields. Plasma cannons that feed on the very forces that power your vessels. The first human salvo lit the void like a newborn star. Zephyrian shields, designed to withstand stellar fury, simply ceased. The energy barriers that had protected the Empire for millennia dissolved like morning frost, leaving their vessels naked before humanity's wrath. You wanted to hear us scream, Admiral Chen said as the human fleet opened fire in earnest. You wanted us to beg, to plead, to offer you tribute for our lives. But we're not like the others you've conquered. When you hurt us, we don't cry. We plan. When you threaten us, we don't negotiate, we prepare. And when you try to exterminate us, the Zephyrian flagship Eternal Dominion shuddered as quantum torpedoes tore through its hull like paper. Around it, the Empire's greatest fleet died in silence, their communication systems jammed by human electronic warfare. We speak in fire. The battle, if it could be called that, lasted 47 minutes. When the guns fell silent, debris from 400 Zephyrian vessels drifted in expanding clouds of superheated metal. The survivors, barely 36, ships from an armada of thousands, fled toward the galactic core carrying news of humanity's terrible awakening. Admiral Chen stood on her bridge, watching the enemy retreat. Around her, the vast human fleet maintained perfect formation, waiting for orders. Ma'am, her communications officer reported, we're receiving surrender requests from 17 Zephyrian worlds. They're offering to return our captured colonists. Chen nodded slowly. 3 years of silence had taught humanity patience. 3 years of death had taught them precision. And 3 years of mourning had taught them that some things were worth any price. Signal the fleet, she commanded. Set course for Zephyr Prime. It's time we had a conversation with their leadership about the true meaning of extinction. The Empire had mocked humanity's silence. Now they would learn the terrible eloquence of human fury, spoken in the ancient language of fire and steel among the stars.